Chris has just handed me. The poor guy's got a problem. Trump appears to hint at Musk's alleged drug use.
Yeah. But this happened on Friday. We talked about it. Remember, Trump leaked all that stuff about Elon's drug use on Friday.
Oh, hi, John. Happy Popcorn Day. Hi.
Oh, hey, let's hope it's tariff-free popcorn. Steffi, the most spectacular steroid-injected billionaire breakup in history. This is like watching the Titanic crash into the Hindenburg to the music from the Benny Hill show. That's what this is. All night. Okay. Sirius XM was
That's my favorite so far.
It's like Lex Luthor broke up with a radioactive cheese puff. The Real Housewives of Mar-a-Lago, folks, and the bitches are slapping each other.
Yep.
The internet's fun again. Joan said, for mental health reasons, I've made the difficult decision to spend even more time on social media watching the worst people on the planet melt down in real time. I mean, there is a level of Schadenfreude, John, that we've just all needed. Isn't there?
It's a brief window, yeah. I was saying last night that these guys were going to make up and listen to their lawyers before the end of the day, and they did. Politico put out a alert last night with the word détente in it, because let's not forget, both these guys are on the grift. And giving into your lack of impulse control stops the money from flowing. That's all that matters.
So many questions. Rachel says, who gets custody of Big Balls? I mean, there's so many messy issues to be worked out.
I know. And what happens if Big Balls starts to leak? That's the real concern.
Oh!
Worried about that. Yeah.
Listen.
And that's happened with Deep Throat. So, Big Balls, it just seems like they could leak too.
I'm saying we're going to send Bella in as the honeypot, but I'm telling you, all over the interwebs, John. Other 98 said, honestly, what's it going to take for the media to actually investigate Elon Musk's wild claims about winning the election for Trump, including the strangely precise 51-49 Senate prediction? Are journalists going to just let this slide? This is not all on the Democratic Party. I mean, listen.
Oh, no. By the way, Elon, anything else you want to tell us about the election? We'll listen. We'll give you all our attention, and you can talk about the election as long as you want. By the way, the clip you played before, there's no mandate. Kamala Harris lost by 1 percentage point. She got more votes in 100 days than Barack Obama ever got, than Reagan ever got, than Clinton ever got, and the majority voted against Trump 3 elections in a row. There's no mandate. But I don't know who's more evil, because I loved seeing Trump attack him on Truth Social, which is like Facebook for uncles with warrants at this point. But then Musk is threatening to decommission the Dragon spacecraft. You know what that is?
Yes.
That's the ship that keeps the International Space Station stocked with oxygen and Wi-Fi and Tang. And these two fragile billionaires fight. And that's like your parents got divorced and one of them threw away the oxygen.
Chris has just handed me. The poor guy's got a problem. Trump appears to hint at Musk's alleged drug use.
Yeah.
But this happened on Friday. We talked about it. Remember, Trump leaked all that stuff about Elon's drug use on Friday, which means when Elon is up there calling Trump a pedophile, saying he's in the Epstein files, he just confirmed that he will cover for a pedophile. Elon will protect a pedophile until said pedophile leaks to the New York Times about his ketamine habit.
It makes them both awful, John. That's a great point. So you put who you knew was a drug addict in charge of all of our private data and government, and you helped spend almost $300 million and God knows what else you did to elect someone you knew was a pedophile.
And he's implied that the drug addict has been extorting the president with this little disclosure information. But if you notice, Donald Trump did not respond to the Epstein tweet. Nothing. And Donald Trump is not a shy man, Steffi. He would sell tickets to his own colonoscopy. And he said nothing after this.
Can I just say, Sharon said, you know who has all the forensic evidence that the swing states were rigged to favor Trump? Elon does. No president has ever won all the swing states. That, to me, was always a tell. Tristan Snell, our friend and yours, New York prosecutor, said, Dear Elon Musk, why don't you share what you really did to help Trump win the election? America deserves to know. Love, we the people. I mean, as I say, the only thing I don't know that would ever happen is because obviously he'd be implicated too. So I don't know. But
I want all of your listeners to read an amazing piece Greg Palast wrote in January for Thom Hartmann's The Hartmann Report. It's called Trump Lost, Vote Suppression Won. Everybody look it up. It's the most compelling thing I've ever read about the 2024 election. Greg Palast, Trump lost, voter suppression won. But now Trump is saying that Musk went crazy, and this is a guy who told people to inject bleach and buy Greenland. Look, this is not a policy disagreement. This is two crazy rich bitches slap fighting in public. That's all it is.
Eric Swalwell, speaking of alpha liberals, just torched Trump. He said, Donald, without Elon Musk, you wouldn't be president now. You'd be a prisoner. Ooh. And no lies detected.
Right.
By the way, Elon said that there's so many suspicious things they've both said. But Elon, before the election, said he better win because I'll go to prison if he doesn't. And he could have said he was referring to anything, I suppose. But, I mean, there really was so much at stake in this election, and it just...
I'll tell you, and you know what? I'm totally shocked that two corrosively selfish millionaire-at-birth narcissists surrounded by yes-men just couldn't get along and work together. Who knew? Who knew these guys couldn't work together in the same room? And it's like, now we see that Trump has been using the tech bros cynically, and the tech bros have been using Trump. That's why you're going to hear all this J.D. Vance talk. Keep watching this guy now, because they want to replace the narcissist with the dude who cosplays as Appalachian Batman. I mean, and Vance wants the gig. Peter Thiel's grooming him.
We're the civilians in the, Godzilla versus Kong, right? We're just like, oh my God. Matt said, don't worry, everyone. I'm certain this feud between the Adderall junkie and the nuclear codes and the ketamine addict with all our social security numbers is just a tiny bump in the road towards American prosperity and greatness. I mean, it's legitimately terrifying.
Yeah, this was never a bromance. This is a slow-motion supervillain custody battle over the soul of a party neither one of them cares about. This is what all doomed relationships are about. Two fragile egos fighting for the same mirror.
It's true. Can I say on another subject, you said, reminder that Trump, who does not care about anti-Semitism, just announced that because of an anti-Semitic attack by an Egyptian, a travel ban of 12 countries, none of which are Egypt. Thank you.
Yeah, can we talk about this for just a second? Because, okay, so Donald Trump has Kanye and Nick Fuentes, the simian man-child Nazi, over to his house for Thanksgiving. He called 87% of American Jews disloyal. Donald Trump this year called the highest-ranking elected Jewish official in American history not Jewish and a Palestinian. He moved the embassy to Jerusalem for a $100 million Sheldon Adelson bribe, and he pardoned the Camp Auschwitz guy. Donald Trump does not care about anti-Semitism. If he did, he'd say something about the Nazi chat room Twitter has turned into. He will exploit anti-Semitism that doesn't bother him cynically to attack U.S. universities. And that's why it's so ugly, and that's why American Jews aren't falling for it.
Yep. And by the way,
all for evangelicals.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for your piece on Substack about the Golden Dome, because I really did, when I heard, I thought, this is the new wall. This is the new we're going to build a big, beautiful wall. You said the Golden Dome isn't just a scam. It's a gold-plated monument to stupidity, greed, and authoritarian cosplay. It's Trump University with rockets. And you said, what do you get when you cross Reagan's Star Wars with Marjorie Taylor Greene's Jewish space lasers? You get the Golden Dome. I mean,
but look where we are. We got millions of people with no insurance. We got airplanes falling out of the sky, airplanes falling off aircraft carriers. Teachers are quitting. Prices are rising. People are getting kicked off Medicaid, and we want health care. Trump's like, no, we're building a flying force field. What about food stamps? No, we're going to build laser turrets over Nebraska to stop all those missiles coming in from the Caymans. What about student loan debt relief? No, that would only stimulate the economy and increase middle-class buying power. This is a scam, and that's all it's ever been. That's all it was under Reagan. It's a giveaway to what Eisenhower warned us about, the military-industrial complex.
This is a great piece. You said, flanked by Secretary of Jägermeister, Pete Hegseth.
Yes.
It's my new favorite.
Yeah.
Trump announced a thing that doesn't exist that will one day shoot down ballistic missiles, hypersonics, cruise missiles, space weapons, incoming facts, and presumably subpoenas from The Hague. You said it's like the Death Star if the Death Star was made of unpaid invoices and galactic pyramid schemes. And spoiler alert, it'll likely be called the Trump Golden Dome, sponsored by MyPillow.
Thank you. Yeah. You know, the thing is, the guy who's trying to kill us both for the insurance money,
yes,
he abducted my child until I started a Substack.
Yes.
So now I've joined the Substack cult, and I'd like Henry back, sir, but I've abducted I've now been posting Substacks all week long, and because I got a book coming out and I got to start promoting. So
and he'd stay with me this week. He just left yesterday, and I haven't checked the silver yet, but likely son's missing.
Count your silverware, please. That guy.
Yeah. Do I have two dogs still?
Yeah.
Okay. You said Israel's Iron Dome cost a few billion. It protects a country the size of New Jersey. Trump's Golden Dome protecting a country that hasn't been bombed by a missile in its entire 250-year history. We're spending $175 billion to intercept what exactly? More taxpayer cash for weapons manufacturers to talk about making things that will never be made. I mean,
well, and one of the things I said in the Iron Dome piece ties directly to Elon, because again, they're trying to spread this money back to Elon Musk. So it's all just grift between these two guys, and it's going to be a long time before all the tell-all books are written and we know exactly what was going on yesterday. But don't worry, they're coming, because we now know the tech bros' plan is to completely divide and conquer and somehow get Vance into the presidency, because Vance could never be elected to the presidency. But I just want to say, this is Elon Musk, Democrats, before you go getting kissy-faced with this little apartheid elf, this is the guy who promised the functioning Hyperloop in California by 2020, the full driving Teslas by 2017, he promised 1 million robo-taxis on the road by 2020, and he promised to cut government spending. And now they're adding $4 trillion to the budget. Don't believe either of these guys. My favorite civil wars are Confederates versus Confederates. That's what we have right now.
Do we have our dating game music? I just wanted to update you on, because there's so many layers of lovely. Before you go, John.
There are many layers.
Noted relationship expert John Fugelsang can tell us.
Yes, I can.
The fallout of the implosion of Elon Musk's bromance with Trump continued to spread. He has unfollowed Stephen Miller.
Yes.
In May, Miller's wife, Katie...
So is Mrs. Miller. Yes, go on.
In May, Katie's wife followed Musk out the door as he exited his role at Doge. She's been working as an advisor for Doge, is now in a role at SpaceX. Musk unfollowed Miller on Thursday. About an hour later, Musk also unfollowed Charlie Kirk.
This is so grade school. Oh, my God.
Look at these mean girls. Look at them.
It really is true.
I don't know who to root against at this point, but this is how it is. So how long until Michael Wolff publishes a book telling us how Elon really got the black eye? Because I refuse to believe Stephen Miller's capable of that. I just don't think it could happen. I don't know.
No,
I think Stephen Miller's the one guy Elon Musk could beat up.
Chris and I are of the belief that someone on Twitter said that he's only who he is because his arms were too skinny to strangle prostitutes. So that's... Well, if you're a homeowner, you need to listen to this. In today's AI and cyber world, scammers are stealing home titles and your equity is the target. Here's how it works. Criminals forge your signature on one document, use a fake notary stamp, pay a small fee with your county, and just like that, your home title has been transferred out of your name. Then they take out loans using your equity or even sell your property. And you won't even know it's happened until you get a collection or a foreclosure notice. So when's the last time you checked your home title? If your answer is never, like mine was, you need to do something about it right now. That's why I have partnered with Home Title Lock so you can find out today if you're already a victim. Go to HometitleLock.com/Stephanie. You will get a free title history report and a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring of your title, urgent alerts to any changes, and if fraud does happen, they'll spend up to $1 million to fix it. Find out why I trust Home Title Lock. Protect yourself like I did. Don't be a victim. Protect your equity today. Go to HometitleLock.com/Stephanie. One more time, HometitleLock.com/Stephanie.